Power 92, #1 in the streets. It's your kid Ricky Rampage with my boy Fki1st. What's up, baby?
Real coolin', man.
Man, how you feel? Welcome to Chicago.
It's good to be in Chicago, bro. I gotta get the hair ups real quick.
Man, come on. I'll take you.
I ain't been.
Grab you a 6-piece with some mild sauce and lemon pepper on it, my dog.
The sauce be going crazy.
You already know. So let me know, man. Straight from ATL, man. Producing, going crazy. How does your upbringing in ATL, man, come in with your producing and your music?
Man, being from Atlanta, that's like everything. That's where I feel like that's where all the South come from.
Yeah.
I feel like when I was little, I was growing up listening to like Lil Jon and shit.
Yeah.
You know, all the hard ass
Stab
beats he
your
was going
fingers.
on. Snap
The
fingers, all that.
Uh-huh.
The whole crunk movement,
Yeah.
all that into Gucci Mane and T.I. and Jeezy and everybody. So all that's in me. Like Zaytoven, all the beats, drum boy beats.
Yeah.
All that is in me. I still listen to everything else, but that's in me though. Just those hard knocking beats. I always wanted to put the 808s and go crazy with them, but
man,
that's where it come from.
And how old was you when you made like your first beat when you first started?
My first beat, I was in 9th grade.
Hey.
Man, I was like 16, and I got in trouble at school. Some crazy shit happened. I don't even remember. So I was just stuck in the crib. But I had a computer though.
Hey.
I just went in there, got Fruity Loops, and then started going crazy from there.
Man,
bro.
from there, it was pretty much history.
Yeah.
So like, do you play any like real instruments? Or you something like when you like, man, you could see these like waves on a computer and you put them all together, or do you like, man, give me a piano, give me the the drums, or how do you pretty much produce?
It really depends on the situation, but I dabble in the keys a little bit in the drums, but I see all that shit, so I can make it come to life. It's really just learning how to use everything, but
that's what it is.
Crazy, man.
Man, let's fast forward. So you started off, man, when you was in high school. Started off with Fruity Loops, got in trouble, and ended up being beneficial.
Yeah, bro.
Now look at you today, man. We got 2 Chainz up under your belt. We got Nicki Minaj. We got Travis Scott, Travis Porter, man. Just to name a few. And my boy H.I. while we here tonight in Chicago. So let me know, man. What was your first major single that you got, and how did it feel when you produced it?
I mean, first major was Make It Rain, bitch.
Hey, Make It Rain. Hey,
all that, man. And went on to FDB with Young Dro.
Hey.
And I was just working with all the Atlanta rappers, man. T.I.'s the one who linked me up with Travis Scott.
Man.
So that's how that started. But everything, all the Atlanta artists, bro, I was just moving from like working with artist to artist. And it was amazing after Make It Rain. And then I went to LA one random time and met Post Malone out there.
Yeah.
Started producing for him.
And speaking of that, man, you produced White Iverson. This who made the music that we dancing to here in Chicago. So let me know, man, about the White Iverson, man. What was the inspiration behind that beat? Take me to the night that you made that. What was the inspiration behind White Iverson?
Well, that beat is White Iverson's so smooth, so that's that good gas.
Yeah, you feel me? The chill.
And this we had some chicks at the crib, and she had just braided post hair.
Yeah.
So he was feeling himself.
Hey. Here's his flow.
He was feeling himself. We both went in on the beat or whatever, and I mean, there you have it.
Yeah.
And I executive produced his album too, so it's only like 4 billion streams. So that shit going crazy,
man,
bro.
Major numbers. And let's take it back, because you done did so many hit tracks. Now, when it was a dance that just came out that went crazy, everybody, NFL, everybody started doing it, everybody hitting the dab, right? So 2 Chainz come out with the song Watch Out Little Bit, but everybody's hitting the dab with the Watch Out Little Bit. That's your track too.
Yes, it is, bro.
So man, let me tell me back, man. Let's take us back, man, to the Watch Out Little Bit track, man. How did you get into it with 2 Chainz, and how did you flow that track for 2 Chainz together?
I've been working with Tit since the first.
He called it T-Boy. What? Tit,
first album, bro. So it was my birthday in LA.
Yeah.
And I was like, we were at the studio, and we was chilling. We was some studio on Sunset. We was chilling, and he heard the riff, the little and bro started freestyling or whatever. He's like, just load it up. I wasn't even done with the beat.
No.
He started rapping right when he said, I'm a nigga ball, I'm a nigga athletic. I'm like, oh yeah, we good.
Man.
just that. We was a rap from there, bro.
And that brings me to my next question, man, because people think, you know what I'm saying, when they making a hit record, for you to have a few under your belt, man, you got a nice couple of them under your belt. People think, it take you 3 days, 3 months to make a hit record. Sometimes these biggest records be, man, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, in and out. So tell me, man, how the process be like that when you in the process and then you make a hit record and it come just so quick, 2-3 minutes, and you got a hit record.
It's really vibe in the studio. Like, I feel like especially being, I used to, when I was in Atlanta, always working and everything, say like in like a young thug session, it'll be a whole bunch of people in there. That's why I feel like that's why the song's so lit. Yeah. Because everybody in there lit already, whether they smoking, drinking, or whatever. But then you got your times where it's only a couple people in the studio, like a female or something, and it's like a smooth vibe, and you might create a softer song. So it's really just the vibe. Yeah. It's really the vibe. Which when you're making something, you know, there's a feeling right when it's a feeling when it happens.
And you also, man, before we get off the subject of my boy 2 Chainz, Titty Boy, he got a new track out, man, with my girl Nicki Minaj, and you also produced that joint as well. So tell me how it feel, man. We already talked about Titty Boy, but you know what I'm saying, Nicki Minaj, that's a different caliber of artist. You know what I'm saying, to have on a resume, man, to have pretty much the hottest chick, man, in the game right now, man, that's breaking records, doing amazing things, and you have her on your resume. How does that make you feel as a producer, and what's next? Do you feel like you're going to have something coming up in the work with Nicki coming up soon, and how did that coming about?
Yeah, I think so, but it was crazy. I was just sleeping one day. I woke up to a tweet, and she was like, "Oh, so you're the genius who made the beat?"
No.
So it's Nicki, yeah. I might go for it. Shoot a shot. Nah, I saw that. But 2 Chainz linked us. Basically, 2 Chainz, he started the track and he linked us up.
It's all love.
So it's all love from there. But there's a lot of things going on in the future. I'm a mad decent DJ.
Yeah, oh, word. So you on the turntables with it too?
Everything, yeah. It's a good time, bro. It's time for this.
That's what it is. And before we wrap this thing up, man, because I know y'all about to do sound check too. I couldn't finish the interview without talking about my boy H-Child. So tell me how y'all linked up, man. And this new record, man, Love and Hennessy, going absolutely crazy right now. And it's more of the beat ain't too complex either, just real chill, but it still give you that turn vibe. So tell me how you linked up with my boy H-Child, and how did the dope track Love and Hennessy come about?
I know H-Child for some years now. It was crazy. We always linked up. It was kind of like a homie thing, friendship thing before the music. You know what I mean? Sure. I kind of knew him through music, and we've been linking through our years. And then this past year, he came from out of town from Florida, or something, just pulled up to the studio. Yeah. And I had this old beat me and Spins made, and he said it had a little Latin feeling to it, and I'm like, let's go with it. And we added a little bachata to it, you know what I mean?
Bachata to it, yeah.
You know what I mean? Collide both worlds together, and there you have it, Love and Hennessy.
And the rest is history.
So it's going to be a big track. I feel it. It's just some amazing shit.
That's what it
ladies
is.
Ladies feel it right when it drops. It's all about that, man.
Like I was telling my boy H-Child, man, it's much success, man, to young men, because they don't want to see us out here winning. You know what I'm saying? For us to be out here winning, man. And for another young black man, man, you out here doing your thing, my boy. Had no idea, man. We played all those records at Power 92. All your hit records, man. For the past few years, we played them all. So to meet you, man, is definitely an honor, man. Salute to you. And so let's get the numbers up, man, because I didn't even know who you are. So how can the people follow you on your social media?
At Fki1st. At Fki1st. Everything. Good gas coming soon.
Hey, there you go. That's what it is, man. Ricky Rampage, Power 92, Fki1st. We out here, man. You already know how we rock.